Hey guys, I'm back from my trip to Maine. It was a productive trip. I got a lot of things done that I wanted to get done, so I'm going to talk to you guys about that and answer some of the questions that I've gotten from you guys. And I really appreciate the comments. I appreciate all the well wishes and the congratulations and all. Thank you so much. And but there's still a lot to do. Still moving in that direction, but there's a ton to do. Just at my house, cleaning up, decluttering, getting rid of stuff I don't want to take with me. Still finding the property and that I want, and there's a lot of decisions with that. Just there's a lot of things you can do, and I'm going to talk more about that. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I hope you guys come along and learn something. I appreciate you guys. Take care. Yeah, it's good to be back home. Give the hens and the ducks a treat, some mealworms. They love that. So it's good to be home. For now. Still looking. And I knew the look would take some time. So, still got a couple more months, I think, before it might get a little too late to move for the year. But it depends. The house I find could have everything I need, so I could move at any time. But yeah, they love these mealworms. Especially the ducks, but the chickens run them off. Yeah, the chickens are greedy. They're greedy. Hey guys, so I made it home, back to Maryland, and it's hot. And the hens are hot. They're panting and a lot of their wings are out. It's starting to cool down a little bit right here. So I came out with a treat for them that they like. Cantaloupe. They like that, and some peas that are frozen. This will help cool them down. This was in their... So I give them peas that are frozen. They like those. And this was in the refrigerator. It'll help cool them down some. What, Martha? What? What? I missed you too. But yeah, I miss my girls. And my two duckies. I gave them some grass today. So they'd have some... What is going on, guys? They'd have some grass. Looks like the drake found it. They love the grass. But I wanted to talk a little bit about my trip. Let me see what kind of eggs I got. Oh, a little bit. But yeah, it's like 90 plus degrees, and the humidity is crazy high in the 90s. Oops. Oh, sorry about that. I was stepping on your footsie. Sorry about that. So it's like a 12-hour drive. No getting around it for me. 693 miles. And going there and coming back, I hit New York traffic. So that was a plus. But I finally got into Lincoln and stayed there for about 4 nights and got to look around. Drove to a couple cities that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Holton again, and another place called Howland, and then Milo. So I was kind of driving around the cities around Lincoln, because Lincoln is kind of where I'm looking. And one of my favorite questions that I get from people, not people that live there, but people that live here, or my friends are like, don't you know it's cold in Maine? And I was like, it never dawned on me. I know, don't be a wise guy, but... So I tell everybody, I said, listen, they make these magical things called cell phones, and we have weather apps on them. And so all through the last 6 months, I've been scanning the weather. So here, where I live, Lincoln, Maine, and then Holton, Maine. And I've been watching the weather. Well, it's about 10 degrees difference. So if it's 90 here, it's usually 80 there. But in the winter, If it's 30 here, it's about 20 there. Okay, that's not a big deal. Where I come from in Spokane, I lived there 8 years, and it would get down to 8 degrees at night. And the hens were fine, I was fine, I loved it. The first year it snowed 96 inches in Spokane. So I love the snow. I don't have a problem with it. So that is kind of one question I get a lot is about the cold. It's usually from people that don't want to live in cold weather. They want to live at the beach or they want to live somewhere else. And I'm like, hey, if you want to live at the beach, go for it. I think that's great. But it's not for me. Not at all. One thing I did find out is, particularly with snow removal, so most of those gravel roads, those back roads or private roads, um, they're not shoveled or plowed. But all your paved roads usually are. So there's usually two things that happen. Either one of the homeowners, he or she will plow the road, or they'll have an HOA set up, so it's about $21 to $25 a month paid annually, and somebody comes and plows the road. So the road's going to get plowed. There's three different ways, and usually that's the way it works. So I was surprised. What? So I was surprised at how many cars I saw there. I thought everybody would have a truck. Now maybe at home they had a truck, but I would say it was 50-50. So if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle, you know, you can be okay. Will there be some days you may have to stay home? Sure. I might want to stay home anyway. So to me, it doesn't seem like a big problem. Now, I was watching another show that I like to watch. What? Uh, Jason and Jen, they have a page. I'm gonna get this wrong. Han Blachea Ranch, and they've been there for 3 years now. I think they came out of Chicago, and he's got a great video on this spring where they got 18 inches of snow in the springtime. So, but he's probably they're gonna be like an hour and a half north of where I'm looking, near Holton area. So check out his page, Han Blachea Ranch, and he's got a good video on what he had to do to plow out. Through that 18 inches snowstorm. So I mean that's a good thing that's a good thing to check out. So, but definitely snow is something you got to think about. One thing that I am thinking about is, you romanticize about homesteading and all, and you get out there and you see a couple homesteads that don't have electric, and they're a mile or several miles off the road, and to get utilities there is going to cost many thousands of dollars. So you're kind of stuck with solar, or some kind of battery system or generator. You're kind of stuck with that. So you have to really think about that. Um, and it's a neat thing to think about, but it's also there's a lot of responsibility that goes into that. So when you get out there and you start really thinking it through, it's romanticizing about it is you're like, wait a minute, you see pictures on a website and you go down there and you're like, this looks fantastic, and then you get inside the house and you're like, what the heck is going on in this house? It needs a ton more work. So I'm still looking. I went out. There was a couple places I wanted to see that I couldn't see. There was a couple places that I was hoping to see that already got sold. Like 3 places already sold. So people are moving to Maine right now. So it's happening. So you got to be ready to at least drive there and take a look, or buy the property outright. I wouldn't recommend that, because the one property, I kept looking at it on the maps, and it looked like it wasn't far off the main road, but it was 7 miles to drive into. So, but for me, it's a long drive. It's it's a 12-hour drive to get up there. And even if I just get up there late and I just sleep in my car, which I've done once, and get up real early and meet the realtor at 7 a.m. and go look at 3 or 4 places and then drive home, that's a long day. So, staying in a hotel is about $165, and I don't know, it's and all the tolls. So you try to find a bunch of places and go up there and see 3 or 4 of them, but then they're gone. So if you really think about being there, there's options. There, you might be able to rent a place, move there and rent a place for a year, and then look and find the exact one you want. And that's an option. You could buy land, take your travel trailer up there and start building what you need. That's another option. It's a hard option, but you can do it. So I'm weighing all the options right now. The other thing you got to think about is if you are going to homestead is, your health and your age. I mean, me at 56, I'm still pretty healthy and pretty strong, so I can do a lot of the work. But if you have help, that's even better. So if you do, then obviously you'll get the jobs done quicker. But if you don't, then it's just you. If something happens, it's just you out in the middle of the woods somewhere. So you got to keep that in mind. So romanticizing about homesteading is one thing. Going there and physically, looking at places is a whole nother thing. Because, you take for granted the simple things, like how much water you need a day. And for drinking, bathing, washing your clothes, for your animals. And if you don't have a well, then you need to figure out how you're going to do it. Rain catchment is an option. So your water options are going to be a big thing, and you got to think them through. And your power options are going to be a big thing, and you got to think that through. And for me, when I was standing there on the property, things became a lot more clear. So, and how much cost is going to be involved. So if you're thinking about moving to Maine, it's doable. It's just that you got to think a lot of things through. So good luck, and hopefully my journey will help you guys and to get through it. So guys, take care. Hope you're doing amazing. I hope you guys are happy and healthy. Take care, guys, and God bless.